It's race week and we're heading to the magnificent Monaco Grand Prix, the French Riviera, a classic circuit this one. Yes, the racing isn't great, we get a big train, but it's all about qualifying. An absolutely fantastic event, a sporting entertainment spectacle, isn't it? The racing, yes, it could be better, but in qualifying we get that tense pressure, isn't it? Because that's where it all matters. And we've had some interesting Monaco Grand Prix, hasn't it? Where we've had some different race winners despite who's been on pole. The weather can play havoc and chaos, as we've seen last time out. But it's a 78 lap race, 3.3 kilometers, one DRS zone down to turn one. Don't expect too much overtaking there, but 19 turns, a high downforce circuit, and it should be an absolute cracker. The weather conditions are showing it's sunny for now. Rumoured potentially some rain in the air for the race, but that, you know, last time out we got a fantastic race, didn't we? Narrowly on pole was Max Verstappen from Fernando Alonso, who had this race as a highlight, didn't he, last year? Wasn't to be, and we had Ocon, who was an absolute surprise, P3 in qualifying, and with it looked like a pretty steady race, but with 20 laps to go the rain came down and it was absolutely chaos. Sainz was in a constant battle with literally everyone. Perez hit every barrier around the circuit, didn't he? Had a horrible race that weekend, and it surprisingly finished as it started, didn't it? With Max Verstappen taking the win, Fernando Alonso second, and Ocon in third, which was an absolutely tremendous result from that Alpine team. And I'll be hoping he can pull off something similar for this weekend. Tyre torque, yes, that boring black stuff that runs around the rim, but so important on these cars. Again, the softest on the range for the Pirelli guys. It's the C3 hards, the C4 mediums, and the C5s, the softs. It's a one-stop strategy normally here in Monaco. Don't expect anything too different. If the rain comes down, obviously it's a battle then of, do you stay out and hold on to track position in case the rain comes down, or do you take the gamble and pit? You know, we've seen Alonso do that, didn't we, and stay on the hard mediums last time out, and should have really pit for rain, but it all kind of strangely worked out for him in the end. George Russell, who did a fantastic job going on the right tyres and then binned it. It was just all action, so we get all sorts going on in this circuit, but strategy is the key, isn't it, really? Do you start on the mediums and, you know, take them as long as you can with some decent pace, hoping not to get undercut by anyone willing to take the gamble on the hards? The pressure with that is, though, if you lose a place at the start, your whole strategy goes out the window, doesn't it? And then you're in a real battle there. So that's really where the finer details comes into it in terms of race day. Predictions for this one, I think I'm going for Lando Norris to take pole position and Max Verstappen second and Charles Leclerc in third place. For the race win, I'm going to finish in that order. Purely I'm expecting it just to be dry. Lando Norris has been really good, and to get a Monaco win there, there's rumours of them coming up with a special livery, isn't it, McLaren? And I'm hoping if they can pull off something like that red and white classic that we've seen before, well, absolutely tremendous. Last year we had the Triple Crown colours, didn't we, on that McLaren? Looked brilliant there. So yeah, let's see what surprise we come in for here. I'll be more on that on Paddock Talk. Should we get some decent updates to talk about this weekend before Monaco? It's a short turnaround time, isn't it? For the race though, I've got, Lando Norris winning, Max Verstappen second, Charles Leclerc third, just to be clear. And I'm predicting a good weekend for the McLarens and also the Alpines. They did well here last year, and their car looks like it's track specific again. So both Alpines did well. I know Ocon got the highlights in third, but it was a seventh for Gasly, who again last year they were nowhere, were they? So expecting more of the same this weekend. But if McLaren can pull off a win, that'll be absolutely fantastic. I'm predicting a bad weekend for the Mercedes boys, isn't it? Their one lap pace has just not been good, has it? I've never really seen them when it comes to that Q3 session. They're never able to make that jump, which everybody else is able to do, that just extra tenth or two, and they've not quite managed to get that out of that car. We couldn't be in for a surprise, and if they can't do that for qualifying, it'll be a horrible race for them. Let's go through and do a quick review of the championship. We've not done that for some time, have we? Max Verstappen leads the way, 161 points. Charles Leclerc in second place, 113, which is surprised me when I read that recently. He's beating Sergio Perez, who's still currently in third place at 107 points, and he could relinquish that position should the results go the way that I've predicted, Lando Norris is 101 points, so just 6 points in it behind, so we could see a swing in the table there. Carlos Sainz in 5th on 93 points. It's really quite close between Leclerc and Sainz, isn't it? I mean, you've got to remember that Sainz has had a race off, so it'd have been a lot closer to that when he is, because he was on form at that time. Oscar Piastri in 6th place, and he's ahead of the next battle of drivers, let's so to speak, because we've got George Russell in 7th place on 44 points. Number 44, Lewis Hamilton, is in 8th place, isn't he? He's on 35 points, and Alonso 33 points in 9th position there, and Yuki Tsunoda rounds out the top 10 on 15 points, so a bit of a gap there from Yuki and the rest, but it looks close between Piastri down to Alonso, isn't it? And Piastri, if that McLaren's performing well and he can get the consistency of performances, he'll be right up there again, wouldn't he, fighting potentially Carlos Sainz, depends on how that works out, but them two are in for a real battle together. They've been racing well and hard on track, haven't they, the pair of them, Sainz and Piastri, so it'll reflecting in the championship a little bit, isn't it? Max has got a healthy lead, hasn't he? 50 points off Leclerc, and actually his current rival is 60 points behind. Lando Norris seems to be taking the fight to him at the moment. In the Constructors, it's a comfortable lead for Red Bull Racing, 268 points, but at the moment they're fighting with one hand behind their back, aren't they? Sergio Perez not really pulling his weight, so only a 56 points gap between them and Ferrari, who line up in 2nd place, and McLaren are on a charge, aren't they? 3rd place, 154 points. I'm sure they'll be closing up on Ferrari soon. Them two, Piastri and Norris, are doing really well. They don't finish miles apart, do they? They both consistently finish quite close together in races, which is what the teams need for this Constructors' Championship. Then we see the surprise, a big gap down, isn't it? Mercedes, 79 points, nearly half the points behind McLaren, and it doesn't look like they're going to be catching up anytime soon. Aston Martin in 5th place on 54 points, so Mercedes have got a bit of a comfortable gap on Aston Martin at the moment. If Aston can get things right, we'll see potentially them coming into a fight with Mercedes and the top 5 constructors there. And then McLaren look like they should have enough at the moment. If they can take enough of the momentum with them through, they'll be right up there with Ferrari fighting for that 2nd place. And yeah, if it's just continues to be Max Verstappen taking the points for Red Bull, then we can see McLaren's, if they can work together, having a late charge for that Constructors' Championship, which will be a real coup, wasn't it? I know we're talking quite far off, but you never know if Sergio Perez carries on like he did last season, and McLaren can, both of them, keep consistently picking up the points and solid finishes from them. It looked like that could get really close down to the wire. But yeah, looking forward to the qualifying. It's big here in Monaco, massively important. Can't wait for the action to get going. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment as always. See you next time.